Wisconsin, Mr. Duffy, Chairman of our Oversight and Investigations Subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here, Mr. Castro. Just want to make a note that homelessness doesn't just exist in urban America, it also exists in rural America, in places like my district, rural Wisconsin. For the last 2 years, we have held a homelessness and hunger summit, trying to bring in the stakeholders from across our rural community, trying to figure out how we can address this problem more effectively, trying to figure out where the bright spots are of what small agencies, what they do to more effectively tap into resources in their community, how they can more effectively tap into government resources. And so it's a problem that we think we have to address, and my comments are in no way trying to undermine the problem of homelessness across the country. I would note, though, that I do hear a lot about the rules and regulations, especially for small providers in our community. And listen, if you're a 1 or 2 person organization, it becomes incredibly difficult for them to navigate the rules and regulations. But want to move beyond that. You're asking for more money, a 9% increase, or that's in the president's budget. Why do you need more money when we've improved the homelessness in America? Why do you need more public housing money? Why do you need more Section 8 housing money when we've had improvements in the economy and in this space?
Well, the fact is that, for instance, let's take our vouchers. Through sequestration, we lost 67,000 vouchers. What we see out there is that we're only able to serve 1 out of every 4 people who need us.
But have we had an improvement in this space? With those who are homeless?
On homelessness, we have seen an improvement over the last, and why was that?
So you're seeing,
and the reason for that goes,
but you're asking for more money,
was that we dedicated more resources to it. HUD-VASH vouchers, to the committee's credit, Congress's credit, and the President's leadership. The main reason that we've seen a reduction in veteran homelessness is because we actually invested
so I'm talking about
in ending veteran
and I appreciate your comments on veterans, and that's a nice number. But
okay, well then let's talk about folks who live in rural areas or tribal communities.
Let's talk about it as a whole then. What success have you had of getting people not just into the system of public housing in Section 8, but out of the system? And it goes back to the questions that the chairman asked and Mr. Huizinga asked. That you come and ask for more money, but you can't sit there today and say, listen, you guys, this is what we're doing. We're bringing people in. They need help. We all want to help them.
Well, but that's not true.
No, hold on. Let me finish. Don't interrupt me. But here are the facts and the numbers of how we've moved people out of the space of public assistance and into self-sufficiency. But if you don't track people, you don't know if the numbers that you give us are people who go from assistance to sustainability themselves or to another public housing authority, you can't actually give us the right numbers, and you're asking for more money.
I gave an example earlier. A good example.
I don't want to say, I'm looking at numbers. Listen, but so what percentage?
A good example of what we have seen is that through our Jobs Plus initiative, that
Jobs Plus, let's talk about Jobs Plus. Hold on a second. Jobs Plus. Is the 9% increase asked for by the President, is that going to the programs that you say work like Jobs Plus?
Well, what we're requesting is that we're going to Jobs Plus.
Across the board.
We're going from $15 million to $100 million. That's what the request is.
Mr. Secretary,
hold
on a second. If you have programs that work.
We're requesting Jobs Plus? Of course not.
So if you have programs that work, Jobs Plus, I'm not arguing your stats on that. Why aren't you saying, Congress, listen, let's talk about programs that work, that'll take people off assistance and into sustainability.
That is what I'm talking about.
No, it's not. You're saying, you're giving me a small section. Is everybody, the funding that's asked for is funding across the board, not to be driven into Jobs Plus, not to programs that actually move people to sustainability. It gets back to your original point. I think you judge success by how much money we spend. That's how you judge success.
No, that's not true.
You can't give me the numbers.
That is not true. The other day I was in
Tell me the number.
The other day I was in
Hold on, this is my time. Tell me the number
when I was
with regard to people who
there was a group.
Hold on a second.
There was a group of veterans who were there who had been homeless.
Mr. Secretary, the time belongs to the gentleman from Wisconsin. Please add 10 seconds to the clock.
If that's not how you judge your time or your success, tell me the percentage of people that go into Section 8 public housing and then actually move out into self-sustainability? What's that?
And I
what's
said
that
earlier,
percent?
we would love to get you the information.
You don't have
we
that number,
on
so
that.
you can't.
What I do know is that we
again,
have a waiting list of 189,000 folks.
If you are judging
for public
success
housing.
by getting people off assistance and into self-sustainability, you would be here today telling us those numbers. But you can't tell us because you have no, this is not how you judge success in your agency. That's part of the problem.
Representative, I just did tell you some of that.
You didn't give me any numbers. You don't even know it.
I did.
What was the number?
The time of the gentleman has expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Sherman.
Mr. Secretary, I want to recognize with you that Section 8 and other housing programs are successful in every one of